What loftier goal or higher calling could a person ascribe to than in aiding his fellow man? Being in the loving service of others in their time of need should be the sacred duty of every conscientious soul. It's a core tenet in every major belief system. That's why the humble subject of this legal inquiry diligently gathered up things to eat and delivered them to the hungry. With this purposeful, kind-hearted gesture, hollow bellies were filled, and their ravenous anger and mindless frustration were abated. Every single day he endeavored to this necessary task, oftentimes at great risk to himself. Let's face it, it's a jungle out there. Mortal danger lurks around every corner. We've all seen it. Mr. Ignatius cleverly navigated the unique perils of modern society to help out the disadvantaged. I don't throw out accolades like selfless or hero very often, but in this case, it's richly deserved. Harvey Ignatius is, quite frankly, a saint. No more statements, Your Honor. The jury and audience sat in dutiful silence, while the defense attorney painted a glossy, almost messianic version of the accused. A few of them had bemused grins on their faces by the thick, insincere layer of horse hockey they'd just heard. Others were infuriated, offended, or outraged by the creative characterization of the defendant as anything other than the piece of human excrement that he was. Sensing the potential for angry outbursts in his courtroom, the judge reminded those in attendance to remain silent. The district attorney stood to begin his closing arguments. He turned to directly face the jurors and inhaled deeply. His eyes remained tightly closed a moment, as if hearing the fanciful defense narrative had been painful to experience. Both the defense and prosecution lawyers had promising backup careers in acting, if their regular vocations fell through. Drama and courtroom theatrics were frequently employed as a creative facet of jurisprudence. Let me remind the audience and jury members that the things to eat Mr. Ignatius gathered up were people. The hungry, with hollow bellies filled with ravenous anger and mindless frustration, were the dead. Despite the creative framing Mr. Skoll just entertained us with in his closing statements, Harvey Ignatius didn't volunteer at a soup kitchen or work in a leper colony, not by a country mile. The accused man in the courtroom actively conspired with flesh-eating corpses to procure living victims for them to eat. He did these abominable things for the most selfish of reasons. That is, to save his own cowardly skin. There's no absolute way of knowing how many innocent victims he lured to their deaths with his cunning ruses, but the evidence points to dozens, if not hundreds. If forming an unholy alliance with the dead roaming the countryside to be spared from their bloodthirsty hunger isn't grounds for the harshest of punishments, I don't know what is. Every person on the jury today has the sworn duty to find this detestable human being guilty in the first degree. I rest my case. 4 minutes later. Your Honor, by unanimous decision, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of all charges. Judge Windcott tried to maintain his composure as the verdict was read, but had to stifle a smirk of pleased satisfaction. Frankly, he was surprised it took them that long. All that was left was to hand down the sentence. The bailiff ordered the now convicted procurer of living victims to rise. Harvey Ignatius, for your heinous crimes against humanity, I sentence you to permanent confinement in the maze of the undead. Your internment will be simulcast on pay-per-view as the hungriest and most ferocious of the dead. Let's see if you can strike a deal with them. We'll all be munching our popcorn. The entire courtroom gasped at the severity and incredible rarity of Judge Windcott handing down the Mount Everest of undesirable punishments. Bang went the gavel.